Okay, so stability focus today for our class. If you know that you are somebody that wobbles a lot, just so that we can practice safely, make sure maybe you're practicing close to a wall, or even you have a chair near to you, because some of them are going to be standing, so the blocks aren't really going to help. It's really important to know what stability is, and it's just our ability to resist change. So rather than thinking, oh, I'm stable when I'm in my warrior 3 or I'm in my half moon where you're in that real balancing pose just on one leg, actually the stability comes from the transition. So when maybe your 2 feet are away from one another and you're transitioning maybe just onto 1 foot, that's where the stability comes in. So one tip I'm going to say to you is make sure you're grounding through the big toes. That is going to make a real big difference. Okay, so we're going to start in our wide leg child's pose. So come all the way down, knees apart, toes together. Walk the hands down, sink the forehead down. Allow that chest to fall to the ground, opening up through those shoulders. Sinking the hips down to the heels. Okay, start to walk the hands over to the right, stretching down the left side of the body. Still thinking about that left hip grounding, because there's a tendency to pick up that hip. Every inhale, maybe you crawl the fingers a little bit further away. Every exhale, maybe they crawl a little bit further over to the right. Still thinking about those shoulders square to the ground. Hips square down to the heels. Finding that nice calm breath. All the way down to the belly. Next inhale, slowly crawl your hands through center and over to the left side, stretching down the right side of the body. Sinking that right hip down still. Feeling that nice gentle stretch. Again, inhale, use to lengthen, crawl the hands forward. Exhale, maybe they walk further over to the left. Next, inhale all the way back through center. Staying here, this time we're coming onto our elbows. Our hands are coming to prayer. So our elbows are the only things on the ground and our hands are coming up and over, tracking to the back of our neck. Maybe you walk those elbows further forward. We're really focusing on opening up this chest, working to that mobility of our shoulders. So for a deeper stretch, keep walking those elbows forward, keep taking the hands closer down to the back of the neck. Keep sinking the chest down to the ground. Final inhale here. Exhale, extend those arms again. Crawl the hands back so that it allows you to sit all the way up. Coming into our favorite plantar stretch. So we're going to be taking our knees together, feet together, tucking the toes, coming all the way back. So we're sitting onto our heels again, making sure that our feet are completely spread, toes not tucked under one another. Stability again comes down from the roots. So our feet are the roots. And we want to make sure that we've got a nice stable grounding and our feet are spread. Okay, closing down the eyes, hands onto the thighs, palms facing up. And try to just take your focus just to the upper half of your body, maybe just behind the eyes, and forget about what's happening in your toes. Use that breath to help you feel calm, to help you stay in this pose, to push through that feeling of resistance. Three more rounds of breath here. Really feel that belly expanding and falling. When you come to the end of that last breath, slowly come all the way forward into your all fours. Just gently wiggle out those toes, allowing that blood to flow back. And then in your all fours, maybe you're in your all fours like this, or again you're in another comfortable seated position so that you're not onto your knees. Stretching out the wrists, starting to take some rotations around the wrists, so the shoulders are rotating around the wrists. Really slowly at first, working through every single corner of the hand. Now it's really important that some of our stability obviously comes from our core, and if we have a weak core, actually that could be the cause of our wrist pain, because the core works on how efficient our rotator cuffs are. Our rotator cuffs are behind the shoulder here, keeping that joint in place. Start to take the rotations the other way when you're ready. And the strength of the rotator cuff, how efficient that rotator cuff, then works all the way down to the wrists. So really it is the work of the core, how strong, how efficient your core is, that could play an impact on that wrist pain. So it's so important to make sure that we're looking after the whole of our bodies. Okay, taking the wrists are then now touching and our fingers are out to the sides. Maybe you stay here, maybe this is enough of a stretch, or you come into the rotations again, one direction. Again, working through every inch of that finger, feeling like you're working thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, and the other way. So absolutely, if it's uncomfortable on your knees, you can just put your hands exactly the same but up on a wall whilst you're seated or even standing. Final wrist stretch. We're going to take our wrists so they're facing straight out. Our fingers are facing straight back. Now again, maybe this is enough, or maybe you start to take the weight back, trying to keep the heel of the hand on the ground as much as possible. Gently stretching. We don't want anything too extreme, too painful. Just feeling that resistance. One more. Turn those wrists around. Maybe you give them a nice gentle shake. Maybe you turn them the other way around. Coming into our modified side plank now. So on our left hand, our right arm is rising. We're taking the left foot so it's outside. So it's directly to the outside of the left side of the mat, pointing outwards. And our right foot is straight back, and our heel and our knee are in line. Right hand all the way up. Make sure you've got your shoulder and your wrist, both of those are in line. Bone to bone is the strongest. Shoulder blades drawing together to open up the chest, and you're really feeling like you're grounding through the outside of that right leg, so that the outside of the foot is into the ground. Big inhale, we're coming all the way up, really using the core, using those obliques. And then taking that left hand up and over, stretching through the left side, taking the right hand to meet the leg. Exhale, come all the way down. Left hand down, right hand back up, side plank. Inhale all the way up, reaching that left hand up and over. One more time, down to your side plank. Really notice how using every single muscle helps with this stability, helps minimize that wobble. Over to the other side, so through your all fours, then the right leg all the way out to the side, left foot back, reaching that left hand high, really pushing through the ground. Inhale all the way up, right hand up and over. Exhale slowly all the way back down. Inhale up and over. Exhale all the way down. Really using those core muscles here. One more time. Inhale all the way up and over. And exhale all the way down. Really nice. Exhale back down to your all fours. Setting up for our down dog. Again, you've always got the chair for you if you want to take the arms onto the chair. Big inhale, push the mat away, tuck the toes, core engaged. Next, exhale, you're pushing the mat away so much that it lifts the hips up, takes the heels back, takes the weight back, tailbone high. Now, absolutely heels off, knees bent. The most important thing here is tailbone is high. You've got a nice long length from the tips of the fingers all the way up to the tailbone. Fingers are spread so widely, grounding through the L's of the fingers, so the thumb and the index finger. Feeling that external rotation of the arms, so thinking about the shoulders rotating away from your face. Relaxing that neck, core is engaged, ribs are pulling in, and our quads all the way down to our feet are working. Breathing here. Final inhale and exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees a lot, keep the bum high. Step forward, maybe lots of little steps to the front of the mat, toes touching. Forward fold, knees bent, chest to thighs. Big inhale, halfway lift, hands onto your shins. Weight into the toes, pulling the shoulder blades back, nice straight back so that gaze isn't towards the legs, it's straight down. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent enough so your chest can rest onto your thighs. Inhale, roll all the way up through standing. Coming into your mountain pose, so this is where you really need to start thinking about the big toes grounding. So mountain pose, our toes are together, our heels are slightly apart, hands out to the sides, palms facing away. So you're grounding through your feet, that groundingness is pulling up through your legs, so your quads are engaged, your glutes are engaged, core is engaged, thinking about whether you've got that posterior or anterior tilt and trying to come to neutral. Shoulders are dropping down, ears and shoulders are in line, crown of the head is high. We're going to be sinking down to our chair pose. From our chair pose, we're going to be lifting up one knee. That knee goes out to the side, back to the front, back down to mountain, with the least amount of wobbles as possible. So mountain, breathing here, feeling that real groundedness. Big inhale, sink the bum down, hands go high. Squeeze those knees in together, core engaged. Make sure you're not sticking these ribs out. Make sure you can see your toes. Inhale, grounding through the left foot. We're lifting up the right foot, so the knee is coming into the chest. Squeezing that left leg, taking the right knee out to the side, back to the front, and down to mountain. Inhale again, chair pose, arms up, sink the bum down. Grounding through the right foot, bringing the left leg up into your chest, out to the side, back in, and down, hands down. Doing this 2 more times, both sides. Sinking back into your chair pose, see if you can get lower each time. Next, inhale, grounding through the left foot, bringing that right knee up, to the side, to the front, and mountain. Least amount of wobbles as possible. Sinking back to your chair pose. Grounding through the right foot, left knee lifts. To the side, to the front, and down. Final time, both sides. Inhale, sink back. Grounding the left foot, bringing the right knee up, to the side, to the front, and down. Final time, release all of that concentration. Sink back, chair pose, squeezing those thighs together. Grounding the right foot, left knee high, to the side, to the front, and down. Good job. Hands come all the way down. Big inhale, hands up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, bending those knees. Head comes all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, taking the hands onto the shins, making sure the weight is still in the toes, drawing the shoulder blades back. Exhale, forward fold, dropping that head again. Planting the hands, stepping the feet straight back, knees down. Hands slightly in front of the shoulders. Big inhale, take the shoulders forward, engage the core. We're coming all the way down to the ground, the whole of the torso at the same time. So really push the mat away so you're separating the shoulder blades to start with. Exhale, draw those elbows back, hug the biceps in. As slowly as you can, all the way down. Forehead down. Hands under the shoulders. Big inhale, cobra, drawing that chest up, gaze slightly forward, drawing the shoulder blades together, working that back. Exhale all the way down, 2 more times. Big inhale, chest up, gaze forward, making sure those back muscles are doing the work. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, final time. Chest up, just take the hands off, make sure that it is the back doing the work, it's not the hands pushing you up. Staying here, driving the pelvis into the ground. Final inhale. Exhale, head back down, hands under the shoulders. Tuck the toes. If you're feeling strong, maybe you push all the way through your plank or absolutely through your all fours, meeting in downward dog. In your downward dog, really feel nice and calm, nice and settled here, thinking about all of those cues. Importantly, make sure those fingers are spread nice and widely. Inhale, we're going to pick up our right leg. We're bringing our right leg all the way through. So push the mat away to create that space to bring that right leg through. Absolutely give your right leg a helping hand. Knee and ankle in line. From your low lunge, next inhale, coming up to our warrior two. So hands coming all the way up and out. And our left foot is spinning to the left side of the mat. Directly out to the side. Grounding through all of that leg so that the outside edge of that foot is down to the ground. Making sure this right knee is to the outside of that right foot. Really working those inner thighs, working this pelvis. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here, making sure your ribs are contained, you're not sticking them out. Inhale, we're picking up the left foot, so we're on our tippy toes, so that we're facing all the way to the front of the mat, really using that concentration. Hands to heart center. Now, absolutely, you can come down to your left knee, or you start to revolve, taking your left elbow, using your obliques, the left oblique, to spin you around so that your left elbow comes down to your right knee. Really thinking about the hands at heart center the whole time, thinking about the chest nice and open. Breathing here. Exhale, taking that left knee down, keeping the toes tucked. Taking the right hand all the way back to that thigh, to the hamstring. Left hand up and over, so you're in a slight back bend here. Exhale, hands come all the way down. Plant those hands. Step this right leg straight back. Maybe the knees are down, maybe the knees are up. Inhale, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, all the way down to the ground. Forehead down. Inhale, cobra, chest off. Exhale, all the way down. Tuck those toes. Maybe you push up all the way through your plank or your all fours, straight back to your downward dog. Pushing the mat away, sending the tailbone high. Next, inhale, picking up the left leg, creating space through our chest, so pushing the mat away, bringing the left foot all the way forward. Again, helping hand is there for you. Next, inhale, spinning that right foot to the ground, all the way up to your warrior two, heel in line. Working this inner thigh so that your left knee is not collapsing. Next, inhale, picking up the right foot, spinning the right foot all the way around, so we're on the tippy toes, facing forward. Hands to heart center. Remember, you can come down to your knees. Next, exhale, using your right oblique, keeping your chest open. Spinning all the way around to the left, right elbow tracking to the left knee. Really working this back leg if the knee is off. Hands to heart center. Chest is nice and open. Don't allow that top shoulder to collapse. Breathing here. Exhale, knee down. Keep the toes tucked of that right leg. Left hand all the way back to that right hamstring. Right hand up and over into this slight back bend, really working our stability here. Keep grounding that left big toe. Exhale, hands all the way forward. We're going to do that at the same time on both sides again. Pick up the right knee, step the left leg straight back, so you're in your high plank, knees up or knees down. Pushing the mat away. Exhale, shoulders over the wrists. Elbows straight back, hug the biceps in, all the way down to the ground. Untuck those toes, forehead down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Tuck the toes again through your plank or through your all fours. Straight back. Inhale, picking up the right leg, stepping it all the way through. Setting up for your warrior two, hands all the way up, sinking down. Next, inhale, picking up the left toes, spinning all the way around to the front, hands to heart center. And continuing to spin that left elbow towards the right knee. Really working that back leg, don't allow it to go soggy. Keeping the hands at heart center, chest open. Exhale, dropping that left knee, toes still tucked. Right hand up and over to the back of that left leg. Left hand up and over. Exhale, hands all the way down. Plant those hands. Take the left knee off of the ground. Right foot straight back. Inhale, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, we're coming all the way down to the ground, however you get there. Untuck those toes, forehead down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Tucking the toes, coming up through your plank. Coming on to the other side, final time, picking up the left leg straight through. Setting up for your warrior two, big inhale, hands all the way up, sinking down, making sure that inner thigh is doing the work. Inhale, pick up that back leg, the right toe, spin all the way around, hands to heart center, staying in this bend. And on your exhale, taking the right elbow towards the left, hands stay to heart center, drawing that leg back, making sure it's doing a lot of the work, using that oblique. Keep that chest long and open. Exhale, drop that knee down, keep the toes tucked. Left hand all the way back to the right hamstring. Right hand up and over into this mini back bend, really grounding that front big toe. Exhale, hands all the way back down. This time picking up the left foot straight back, coming into a closed knees child's pose, taking the knees down, reaching the hands forward, sinking the hips down to the heels, or maybe you take the hands behind, allowing those shoulders to fall inwards. Breathing here, really feeling that breath expanding through the back and sides of the ribs. Hips sinking down to the heels with every exhale. Feeling all of that energy coming back in towards the center of the body. Concentrating on all of that stability that we've been working on. Slowly inhale, hands crawl back to the front, setting up for our downward dog, taking the knees to hips width, tucking the toes, big inhale, push the mat away so much that starts to send the hips up and back, grounding through the L's, the fingers, shoulders rotating out. Big inhale, gaze forward, exhale, bend the knees, step forward to the front of the mat, one big step or lots of little steps. Forward fold, head hanging, knees come down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins, drawing the shoulders back, keeping that chest nice and lifted, weight in the toes. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, roll all the way up through standing, head being the last thing to come up. Coming into our final stability exercise, we're going to be bringing the right knee up, out to the side, back in through center, and then crossing it over the left, so the right ankle is to the outside of the left thigh, and then dropping down so the right knee is away from us, and we're sinking our bum down. Inhale all the way back and changing over to the other side. We're going to do it twice on both sides. Maybe your hands are out to the side or at heart center, wherever you feel enough balance. Inhale, bringing that right knee up, out to the side, through center, crossing it over that left leg, sinking down, drawing the right knee away from the face, keeping the chest lifted. Sinking a little bit lower. Inhale all the way up, switching over to the other side. Inhale, left knee up, out to the side, through center, crossing it over into your figure four stretch, sinking down. Knee away from the face, making sure that the hips are lower than the heart. Inhale all the way up. Final 2 times, really concentrate. Inhale, right knee lifted, grounding the big toe on the left side. Out to the side, through center, crossing it over, sinking down. Inhale all the way up. Over to the other side, inhale, lift. Left knee out to the side, crossing through center into your figure four. Inhale all the way back up, hands down. Big inhale, hands all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent, chest to thighs. Resting here. Sinking the bum all the way down to the ground, coming into seated. Feet out in front of you, knees still bent. Inhale, lift the chest. Feel like the crown of the head is lifting taller, core engaged. And as slowly as you can lower down to the ground, the better, rolling through every single vertebrae. Really engaging that core, keeping the hands reaching forward until you can't go any slower, all the way down, really nice. Keeping the knees bent up just enough that you can touch your heels. Keeping the thighs working so they're parallel. There's a tendency to drop our knees outwards. We really want to keep them parallel. Keep the inner thighs working. Coming into our bridge. Hands out to the side. Palms facing up, so you're really using the lower half of your body. You're not pushing into the ground with your hands. Big inhale, squeeze the bum so the pelvis tucks. And as it can't tuck anymore, it has to lift off of the ground. Think about the crease under the bum and the underneath of the knees, that distance getting shorter, not necessarily about height here, more about length. Think about those big toes again, like we have been the whole of our practice, grounding down through those, engaging the inner thighs. Exhale all the way down, 2 more times. Big inhale, come all the way up. Breathing here, really engaging those glutes. Maybe you lift a little bit higher, lengthen that bum a little bit more. Exhale all the way down. Final time, big inhale, lift all the way up. Really use as much squeeze, as much energy as you have. This is the final push. Grounding through the big toes. Final inhale. Exhale all the way down, really nice. Slowly hugging the knees into your chest. Wrapping the arms around them, drawing the shoulders into the ground, squeezing the knees really deeply into the chest. Taking the knees up so you're in that reverse tabletop, hands out to the side, palms facing up. And we're going to take the knees over to the left, really slowly, keeping the right shoulder onto the ground. So that might mean that your knees can't come all the way down to the ground. Taking the gaze over to the right. Breathing here. Feeling that distance from the knees to the shoulder, growing. Slowly using your core, inhale, lift the knees all the way up through center and then over to the right. Keeping that left shoulder grounded, gazing over to your left. Breathing here, feeling that energy coming into the back of the body now. Inhale, slowly come all the way up through center. Maybe you hug the knees one more time. Take any extra movements you feel like you need before we come into our Shavasana. When you're ready, take the legs out long, as wide or wider than the mat. Hands away from the body, palms facing up. Closing down the eyes. Tucking that chin ever so slightly to create that length down the back of the neck. And allowing those feet to fall out to the side. Really relax the whole of your body. Coming into a body scan, checking in to see if there's any areas that are still tense. And know that you can exhale and release all of that tension. All of that stability we've been working on. Really try to think in your daily life, okay, when I'm standing, how are my feet? Are my big toes grounded? Are they grounded too much and my little toes aren't on the ground? Because stability comes all the way from the bottom, all the way up to the top, so you really need to work on all areas. Starting to bring some movement back into our bodies, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Big morning stretch, fingers and toes. as far away from one another as possible. Bending up the knees, rolling over to one side using that bicep as a pillow. And then pushing yourself all the way up to seated. Eyes still closed. Head being the last thing to come up. Maybe you're seated onto a block, wherever your comfortable seat is. Hands onto your thighs, palms facing up. Feel really tall and lifted here. Feel that chest expanding all the way down to the belly with every inhale. Hands to heart center. Bow the chin to the chest, thumbs to the third eye. And really set an intention today to use your stability. To think about that movement when you're transitioning. And to try and stay as strong as you possibly can. Coming to the end of our practice, so whenever you are ready, start to take the hands away from the eyes and blink the eyes open.